Good morning everyone. This is exercise 13.2 and the first question is using law of exponents simplify and write the answer in exponential form. So here we are having 3 to the power 2 into 3 to the power 4 into 3 to the power 8. So we know the formula that a to the power, if we are having a to the power m into a to the power n, this will give us a to the power m plus n. So exactly we will going to do in this term we will write it 3 to the power 2 plus 4 plus 8, and we will have 3 to the power 40, and this is our answer. Now moving on to the next part, it is a to the power 3 into a to the power 2. So we know the formula a to the power m into a to the power n. When the base is same, the powers will be going to add, so it will be a to the power m plus n. That what we will do in this question. We will add both the powers of the base a, and we can write it a to the power 3 plus 2, which is equals to 5. Moving on to the next part, it is 5 to the power 2 to the power 3 divided by 5 to the power 3. I told you that when we are having power over power, means we are having 5 to the power 2 to the power 3, then we will write it as 5 to the power 6. We will multiply both the powers with each others. हम दोनों powers का multiplication कर देते हैं. 2 into 3 will give us 6. So the base 5 is having power 6, which is divided by 5 to the power 3. So we can write it division by 5 to the power 3. This will give us the formula a to the power m upon a to the power n, which will give us a to the power m minus n, or we can say that a to the power n upon a to the power m, which will give us a to the power n minus m. So we are having a to the power 6 5 to the power 6 minus 3, and the answer is 5 to the power 3. As you can see that this is the answer, 5 to the power 3. Now moving on to the next part, a to the power 4 into b to the power 4. We know that when the base are different and the powers are same, we will multiply the base and put the same power at them. So we can write it a into b to the power 4, and this is the answer. We can also write it like a into b whole to the power 4. Please write it in whole form, like you have to use bracket for a into b to the power 4. If you write it a b to the power 4, this is wrong. If you write b a to the power 4, this is also wrong. You have to write a into b whole to the power 4. सो प्लीज़ ध्यान रखिएगा एंड इसको सही कर लीजिएगा. यहाँ पर मैं ब्रैकेट लगाना भूल गई हूँ. a into b to the power 4 will be written there. Next is 2 to the power 20 divided by 2 to the power 15 into 2 to the power 3. So we can see that base are same. So we can write it 2 to the power 20 divided by 2 to the power 15 into 2 to the power 3. So we can write it 2 to the power 20 minus 15 into 2 to the power 3. 20 minus 15 will give us 2 to the power 5 into 2 to the power 3, and this will give us a to the power m into a to the power n, which is equals to 2 to the power 5 plus 3 8, and the answer is 2 to the power 8. So we can write it 2 to the power 8, and this is our answer. Next is 8 to the power t divided by 8 square. So 8 to the power t upon 8 to the power 2 will give us same base with different powers. So we can write it 8 to the power t minus 2 with the formula using a to the power n divided by a to the power m, which will give us a to the power n minus m. So we will write it a to the power t minus 2. Moving on to the next question, simplify and express each of the following in exponential form. Here we have given the factorial form of the terms, and we have to convert it into exponential form. So we will write it, firstly we will see which are not given in the form of factors, so we will write them in the form of factors. Like 32 can be written as 2 to the power 5, 4 can be written as 2 to the power 2. Then write them in the given equation. So firstly we put the power 3, then 3 to the power 4 because it is a different term. Then again we will write 4 as 2 to the power 2, 3 as 3, and 32 as 2 to the power 5. Then we will again write, we can see that within one bracket we are having 2 to the power 3 and 2 to the power 2. So we can write them 2 to the power 3 plus 2 into 3 to the power 4 and division by 3 into 10 to the power 5. Now we are having 2 to the power 5. Now we are having 2 to the power 5 into 3 to the power 4 divided by 3 into 2 to the power 5. From here we can see, we are having 2 to the power 5 in numerator and denominator. We can cut them out and we can write it 3 to the power 4 divided by 3. So we can also write it 3 to the power 4 minus 1 as it is having power minus 1. In the denominator the 3 is having power minus 1, so we can write it 3 to the power 4 minus 1, which will give us 3 to the power 3. So our answer will be 3 to the power 3. Next is 25 to the power 4 divided by 5 to the power 3. So firstly we will write 25. We know that 25 can have factors 5 into 5. So we can write 25 as 5 to the power 2, and 25 is also having power 4. So then we will write it 5 to the power 2 to the power 4 divided by 5 to the power 3. Now this thing can be written as 5 to the power 4 to the 8 divided by 5 to the power 3. Now we can also write it 5 to the power 8 minus 3, and the answer is 5 to the power 5. So our answer will be 5 to the power 5. Now moving on to the next part, we can see that in the seventh part we are having sixth part, we are having 2 to the power 0 plus 3 to the power 0 plus 4 to the power 0, which will be equals to 1. So we can write it, 2 to the power 0 is 1 plus 3 to the power 0 is 1 and 4 to the power 0 is 1. So 3 times 1 will give us 3 as the answer. In the second part, in the second last part of the question, it is 2 to the power 0 into 3 to the power 0 and into 4 to the power 0. So this will give us 1 into 1 into 1, and we can see that we are having 1 3 times, so we can write it 1 as a answer. Now in the last part of the question, we are having a to the power 5 into a to the power 3 divided by a to the power 3 into a to the power 8. So we can write it a to the power 5 upon a to the power 3 into a to the power 8. So this will can be written as a to the power 5 minus 3 into a to the power 8. This will give you a to the power 2 into a to the power 8, and the answer is a to the power 10, because these both the powers can be added which are having same base. Now moving on to the next part, say true or false. So in the first part we are having 10 into 10 to the power 11 will give you 100 to the power 11. So firstly we will choose left hand side and solve this. We can write it 10 into 10 to the power 11, and then we can write it 10 to the power 1 plus 11, which will give us 10 to the power 12. And on the other side we are having 100 to the power 11. So we know that 100 can be written as 10 to the power 2 to the power 11, and this will give us 10 to the power 22, which will be automatically equals to 10 to the 100 to the power 11. So we can see that 10 into 10 to the power 11 is giving us 10 to the power 12, and 100 to the power 11 is giving us 10 to the power 22. So here on comparing these two things, we can see that 10 to the power 22 is greater than 10 to the power 12. So that means both the sides are not equal and the statement is false. Now moving on to the next part, we are having 3 to the power 0 and 1000 to the power 0. As I told you earlier that if any algebraic function or any term or any digit number is having its power 0, that means its value is equals to 1. So 3 to the power is 0 is equals to 1 and 1000 to the power 0 is also equals to 1. That means yes, the statement is true and the values of both the functions are same. Now moving on to the next question, it is express each of the following as a product of prime factors only in exponential form. So here two numbers are given. Firstly, we have to convert them or factorize them and then write them in the form of exponent. So the factors of 108 will be 2 into 2 into 3 into 3 into 3. So 2 into 2 will give us 2 square and 3 into 3 into 3 will give us 3 to the power 3. Just like that, for 192 we can write it 2 into 2, 2 into 2 and 2. So we can write it 2 into 2 into 3. So we can write it 2 to the power 6 into 3. यहाँ पर मल्टीप्लिकेशन का साइन होगा, ठीक है. सो अब अगर हम इन दोनों के फैक्टर्स को या इन दोनों के एक्सपोनेंट्स को साथ में लिखें, सो वी कैन राइट इट 2 to the power 2 into 3 to the power 3 and 2 to the power 6 into 3. So we can see that these two are having same base and these two are having same base. So when bases are same, the powers can be added. So we can write it 2 to the power 6 plus 2, which will be equal to 8, and 3 to the power 2 plus 1, which will be equals to 3 to the power 4. So the answer is 2 to the power 8 into 3 to the power 4. Now moving on to the next part, it is simplify 2 to the power 5 to the power 2 into 7 cube divided by 8 to the power 3 into 7. So हमें इसको simplify करना है, इसको solve करना है. That's why we will open it and we know that 8 to the power 3 can be written as 2 to the power 3 to the power 3, because we know that 8 is having 2 into 2 into 2 and this can be written as 2 to the power 3, and it is having power 3, so we can write is 2 to the power 3 to the power 3. So we will write it 2 to the power 3 to the power 3, that will give us 2 to the power 6, sorry, 2 to the power 9. Now firstly we will solve this, and this can be written as 2 to the power 10, because when we have power over power, the powers will be multiplied. So we will write it 2 to the power 10 into 7 to the power 3 into 2 to the power 9. जैसा कि मैंने अभी आपको बताया, the value of 8 to the power 3 is equals to 2 to the power 9. 2 to the power 9. So we will write it 2 to the power 9 into 7. Now we are having 2 to the power 10 into 7 to the power 3 upon 2 to the power 9 into 7. So we will take them with the numerator, and we can write this function as 2 to the power 10 into 7 to the power 3 into 2 to the power minus 9 into 7 to the power minus 1. Now all the functions are in multiplication form. Now choose the functions which are having same base. So we can write it 10 plus minus 9 into 7 to the power 3 plus minus 1 into 7 to the power 3 plus minus 1. Now 2 is having power 2 to the power 10 plus minus 9 will give you 2 to the power 1, and into 7 is having 3 plus minus 1, that means 3 minus 1, that means 2 to the power 1 into 7 to the power 2. Your answer is 2 into 7 into 7, which will give you 98 as your answer. So the answer is 98 when you multiply 7 into 7 into 2. Thank you.